In an era where wireless technology permeates every aspect of our lives, the potential health implications of electromagnetic radiation from devices like cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, and 5G networks have become a pressing concern. RF Safe stands at the forefront of this critical movement, advocating for the protection of public health by addressing the overlooked and nonpartisan issues surrounding EMR exposure. As we approach the 2024 election, understanding the significance of RF Safe's mission and the broader implications of their advocacy is essential for both the public and our leaders. RF Safe is more than just a website. It's a comprehensive movement dedicated to safeguarding future generations from the potential health risks associated with electromagnetic radiation. Since the 1990s, RF Safe has been committed to advocacy and research, conducting extensive research into the health risks of electromagnetic radiation, particularly focusing on non-thermal biological effects that are often overlooked in current safety guidelines. They focus on public awareness, educating the public about the potential dangers of long-term exposure to RF EMF, especially for vulnerable populations like children and pregnant women. Policy influence is also key, as they push for updated safety regulations and guidelines that reflect the latest scientific findings to ensure public health is prioritized over corporate profits. Sharing RF Safe's message amplifies the call for necessary changes in how we regulate and interact with wireless technologies, ensuring that safety standards evolve alongside technological advancements. Leaders play a pivotal role in shaping policies that affect public health and safety. Ignoring the concerns raised by RF Safe and the accompanying scientific studies can have long-term consequences for society. Here's why leaders need to prioritize these issues. Emerging research links RF EMF exposure to various health issues, including cancer, neurological disorders, and reproductive health problems. Leaders must act proactively to prevent a potential public health crisis. Ensuring that regulatory bodies like the FCC update their safety guidelines based on the latest science is crucial for protecting citizens. Leaders have the authority to influence these regulatory changes. Addressing RF EMF risks can lead to safer technological innovations, reducing future healthcare costs associated with treating related illnesses. By prioritizing public health over corporate interests, leaders can set a global example in responsible technology management and regulatory oversight. The most recent studies have conclusively shown that the debate about cell phone radiation being hazardous is finally over. This issue has transcended the realm of science and firmly entered the domain of public policy. Just as the acceptance of scientific evidence led to the shift from a geocentric to a heliocentric model and revolutionized our understanding of the universe, we now face a pivotal moment where outdated policies must be replaced with evidence-based regulations to revolutionize our understanding of the human body. While scientific research provides the foundation, effective policy is essential to implement changes that protect public health. It is no longer sufficient to discuss the risks. Decisive legislative action is required. The current classification of radio frequency radiation risks is akin to the geocentric universe theory, outdated and inaccurate. Misclassifying these risks has led to inadequate protection measures and continued exposure to harmful levels of EMR. Governments worldwide must create and enforce legislation that limits cell phone radiation. This includes mandating lower emission levels and requiring the adoption of safer antenna technologies and frequencies for next-generation wireless data transmission. Just as the geocentric model hindered astronomical progress, current policies that fail to address RF EMF risks impede societal progress and jeopardize the health of future generations. Understanding the critical studies. RF Safe highlights several key studies that underscore the potential dangers of RF EMF exposure. The National Toxicology Program, or NTP study, is one of the most comprehensive investigations into RF EMF's health effects. The NTP study found clear evidence linking RF radiation to cancer, including malignant brain tumors, known as gliomas, and heart tumors, called schwannomas, in animal models. The Ramazzini Institute study corroborates the NTP findings, further establishing the carcinogenic potential of RF EMF exposure. Additionally, the Interphone study and the Serenat study provide more evidence of increased cancer risks associated with prolonged cell phone use. These studies collectively challenge the current FCC safety guidelines, which primarily consider only the thermal effects of RF radiation. The recognition of non-thermal biological effects necessitates a re-evaluation of safety standards to better protect public health. RFK Jr.'s landmark lawsuit. A significant milestone in the fight for updated RF EMF safety standards was the lawsuit led by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. against the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC. The lawsuit challenged the FCC's outdated safety guidelines, which were based on research from the 1990s, and failed to account for non-thermal biological effects of RF radiation. Key outcomes of the lawsuit include the court ruling. In 2021, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit ruled that the FCC's guidelines were arbitrary and capricious because they did not adequately consider the latest scientific evidence on non-thermal effects. The ruling mandated that the FCC update its safety guidelines to incorporate both thermal and non-thermal effects, ensuring a more comprehensive protection of public health. The lawsuit significantly raised public awareness about the potential risks of RF radiation and the need for updated regulatory standards. RFK Jr.'s legal victory not only highlighted the deficiencies in existing safety guidelines, but also set a precedent for future advocacy and regulatory reform in the realm of electromagnetic radiation. The urgent need for cell phone radiation policy. The culmination of decades of research has established that cell phone radiation poses significant health risks. It is imperative that governments worldwide transition from recognizing this as a scientific debate to addressing it as a critical policy issue. The misclassification of RFR health risks has perpetuated a false sense of security, similar to how the geocentric model obscured our understanding of the cosmos. Why policy action is crucial: legislation to limit radiation. Governments must enact laws to limit cell phone radiation. This includes setting strict emission standards and enforcing compliance to protect public health. Mandates for safer technologies. Governments should require cell phone manufacturers and service providers to adopt different antenna technologies and utilize safer wavelengths and frequencies for next-generation broadband wireless data transmission, protecting vulnerable populations. Policies must prioritize the protection of children and other vulnerable groups who are more susceptible to RF EMF exposure, addressing information overload. With the digital information explosion, the sea of information has become overwhelming. Clear, evidence-based policies can help cut through the noise and implement effective safety measures. Our demand governments of every country need to take immediate legislative action to limit cell phone radiation. This includes implementing stricter emission standards, reducing permissible radiation levels from all wireless devices, encouraging technological innovation, promoting the development and adoption of safer antenna technologies and frequencies, enforcing compliance, ensuring that manufacturers and service providers adhere to the new standards through rigorous testing and penalties for non-compliance, and raising public awareness, educating the public about the risks of RF EMF exposure and the importance of adhering to safety guidelines. Navigating the information jungle. As it stands today, distinguishing between truth and fiction regarding RF radiation risks has never been more challenging. The rapid growth of digital information has created a vast and often confusing landscape where misinformation can easily spread. However, if we are to be responsible and seek the truth, we must persevere for the sake of our children today and future generations whose lives may depend on it. Key challenges: misinformation. The abundance of conflicting information makes it difficult for individuals to discern credible sources from misleading or false claims. Scientific complexity. The intricate nature of RF EMF research can be overwhelming, leading to misunderstandings and skepticism about legitimate concerns. Corporate interests. The influence of the telecommunications industry can obscure the public's understanding of the true risks associated with RF radiation. RF Safe's commitment. RF Safe is dedicated to cutting through the confusion by providing accurate, evidence-based information about RF EMF risks. By focusing on peer-reviewed studies and advocating for policy changes grounded in scientific research, RF Safe ensures that the public receives reliable guidance on protecting their health. The importance of continued research and advocacy. Despite the significant findings from studies like the NTP and Ramazzini Institute, progress has been stymied by regulatory capture and halted funding for critical research. RF Safe emphasizes the need for updating FCC guidelines, incorporating both thermal and non-thermal effects into safety standards to reflect current scientific understanding, restoring funding for NTP research, ensuring that comprehensive studies on RF EMF continue to inform policy and safety regulations, eliminating regulatory capture, prioritizing public health over corporate interests within regulatory bodies to create unbiased and effective safety standards. Call to action: protecting our future. The urgency of addressing RF EMF exposure cannot be overstated. As we navigate the advancements in wireless technology, it is imperative to balance innovation with safety. Here's how you can contribute to this critical cause. Contact elected officials. Advocate for updated safety guidelines, restored research funding, and policies that prioritize public health. Spread awareness. Educate yourself and others about the potential risks of RF EMF exposure and the importance of updated safety standards. Support legislation-backed laws that mandate stricter radiation emission standards, promote safer technology development, and ensure regulatory transparency. Practice safe technology. Minimize personal exposure by using wired connections, limiting cell phone use, and keeping devices away from your body, especially for children. By taking these steps, we can collectively work towards a safer environment for ourselves and future generations. RF Safe's mission is a call to action for all of us to ensure that technological progress does not come at the expense of our health and well-being. Conclusion: a collective responsibility. RF Safe serves as a vital resource in the ongoing discourse about the safety of wireless technologies. By highlighting key studies, advocating for regulatory reforms, and leading legal battles against outdated safety standards, RF Safe is instrumental in driving the necessary changes to protect public health. As we approach the 2024 election, it is crucial for leaders and citizens alike to recognize the importance of these issues and take decisive action to safeguard our future. Together, we can create a world where technological advancements coexist harmoniously with our health and the environment. Visit RF Safe to learn more and join the movement to protect our future.